Hello learners, good morning. Welcome to the first chapter in history, Maharashtra State Board, the Indian subcontinent and history. Today we are going to see or learn the different subcontinent and history. In the previous year in 5th standard you have studied about the man's life and his environment, where he lives and how the resources are available for them. Now we are going to see the subcontinents and history of a deep understanding and information about them. So first let us see the first part, that is geographical conditions and the course of history. In the 5th standard we saw that some length that there is a close relationship between man and his environment. So in 5th standard we have seen or you have studied about the relationship between man and his environment, how the environment is suitable them and how the life of man was there in that environment. We saw how the changes in the lifestyle of the early men. So how was the lifestyle of early men was there, and his technology were related to the changes in his surrounding. Then how the technology was changed in their surroundings. Now in olden times people were having different types of technology they were using, but now the changes have been developed, so they are having different types of technology. We also reviewed the history of human civilization from the Stone Age to the agriculture civilization that flourished on the banks of river. So there was human civilization who used to stay near the banks of river. Why? Because they are that habituate, that place where they are living, that is suitable for them. And why the people were living near the bank of river? Because they were getting the sources. The water is also the main part of their lives, and even they are also hunting the animals. Because the Harappan people were only living near the banks of the river because they were getting the foods or they are hunting the animals. So that is why they are called agriculture civilization that flourish on the banks. History is a coherent account of the significant past events in the progress of human culture. As you all know, what is history? History always tells the significance of past events, whatever happened in the past of human life and how the progress have been achieved. That is called history. History always tells the past events. So whatever happened, what is happened in the past, that is called history, and it always create the history. Time, place, society and individuals are the four major pillars of history. So these are the four pillars of history in India. So this is the four pillar of history. Time means we have to see the time also, and places, what are the different places and what are the different weather climates are there, because they are the correlated of geographical and history. Society and individuals, so we have to see the society and individuals as compared to the history and geography. We cannot write history without them. One of these four components, place, is related to geography or geographical conditions. So place plays a very important role in history, or we can say related to geography. Why? Because we see the different types of conditions like climate, weather and different types of temperature because of geographical, but that we also study in the history. So this also plays a very important role in history. In this sense, history and geography are inseparable. So they are both inseparable, means they are correlated with each other. History is influenced by geographical condition in many ways. So geographical condition also very important in history, or we can see that they are not inseparable. They are at a one stage or one conditions where we can learn about history. Here you can see different types of houses where the people were living. These are the houses in olden times where the people were having a diet, clothing, housing, occupation. In fact, all human life in any region depends to a large extent on its geographical characteristics. So our human life or our life is mainly dependent because of the geographical conditions. So geographical conditions plays a very important role in history, that I have told you, like our diet, clothing, housing, occupation. These are the importance of human life. Without them a person cannot live on a earth. So this is the very importance. Remember this, because this is the basic needs that you need. For example, the life of the people in hilly regions is more strenuous than that of the people on the plains. So the people who are living in the hilly region, they are very enormous, or they are not having very struggle life. Why? Because they are living in the hilly area, so they can get a good land over there. So plain actually called a land which is suitable for them. Not much fertile land is available in the hilly regions. So in the hilly regions you will not have a fertile land. What do you mean by fertile land? Fertile land means where you can crop or where you can do agriculture. If the land is suitable for the agriculture, you can have a big crops or agriculture grow over there. So in that you will not find a much fertile land, but you can find the plains area, or you can have a houses over there. So that plain is called a land. It is available on a large scale. That is why grain and vegetable are scarce in hilly areas. So in hilly areas or hilly region, you will find there are more crops have been grown, like grains and vegetables. In comparison, people on the plains get them in a sufficient measure. So they are getting sufficient things from the plain areas. Naturally, this has an impact on the diet of the people. In hilly regions, people depend more on hunting and gathering for their food. So people are mainly depended on because of the hunting and gathering for their foods. They kill the animals and they had a food. So they are mainly dependent on this. We also find other such differences in the lifestyle of the people of the hilly regions and those of plains. So there you will find the lifestyle of the people who are living in the hilly regions are totally different as compared to our lifestyle, and their plains are totally different. Now we are living in the modern era, so we are having different kinds of a land available, but in their area you will find a different land place. So this was the explanation of a continents of history. The climate, rainfall, agriculture produce, flora and fauna of the region where we live are the sources of our livelihood. So these are the sources of livelihood. Why? Because flora and fauna. What do you mean by flora and fauna? Flora means plant and fauna means animal. So these are the people, or these are the means human being. This is also called a human being only. These are the source where they are having different types of climatic. They are having different types of rainfalls in their area. So these are the sources of their livelihoods, because the people who are living in the region, they go through this. They are mainly dependent on this. The lifestyle and culture of region develops with their support. So they develop their culture and lifestyles with people who are developing their area with their supports. Human settlements have flourished where the means of living are plentiful. So human settlements, now people are living in one area, they are moving to the different area also. Why? Because they are habitual, means they are getting the food, they are getting the occupation over there. So means of living are very plentiful over there. Over a period of time, these settlements develop further into village and towns. So these settlements also taken place and they have also developed in some of the villages and some of the towns. Why? If they get a good settlements or good developments area where they can live, or when they can get a livelihood for their betterment. Sometimes reasons like the degradation of environment, sometimes there is not a good environment and not suitable for them. There are droughts means might be no food to eat, where the people are struggling because of the food inventions, etc., lead to the scarcity of those means. People are forced to leave their settlements, means people are forced to leave their settlements. Why? Because they are not getting the proper benefits on their area. They are struggling from the area, so they are leaving from one place to another place. Villages and towns become deserted. So people are not now people are having different thinking, that they are not living in the villages, they are going to the urban areas to means of their livelihood. We see many such instances in history. Thus we see that there is a very close relationship between history and geography. So there is a very close relationship between history and geography. They are interrelated with each other or correlated with each other. Next we will see geographical features of India.